may be seated. Well, on this, my final Sunday with you all, I would like to actually not focus on the gospel reading that you just heard or any of the readings that you've heard today, and you can spend time with those later this week, perhaps. And this message will also be a bit shorter and a bit sweet compared to maybe other sermons, as instead of those readings, I want to read for you a quote that has been for me a constant invitation, and then offer you all, as well as myself, a few invitations. If you've received an email from me, you've likely seen this quote at the bottom of my email signature. And it is this, said by André Breton, a French writer and poet. All my life, my heart has yearned for a thing I cannot name. I'll read that again. All my life, my heart has yearned for a thing I cannot name. Now, this quote has calmed me in the moments in which I have strained, both in my personal life and in my work life, to name that which cannot be named fully. I have felt, I'm sure some of you or all of you have also felt, sometimes this need to find the exact right answers, or to box in, or to name that which cannot be fully named, the divine, God, our Creator. And in our pursuit of answers and attempting to name the mystery that is the cosmos, that is God, we end up losing the mystery of God, from which life is drawn. Dorothy Soule says in her book, The Silent Cry, every idea that we have of God fails God. Indeed, each idea produces a false familiarity with the divine, a humble haughtiness that lurks behind piety. As in, God is not a puzzle to solve or a game to win. We must be humble enough to realize that we cannot ever fully name or solve God. God seems to be, instead, the source of all life and the very foundation in the greatest and worst moments of this life, in spite of our not fully understanding God. We yearn for the presence and the knowing of a God for whom we cannot fully name or comprehend. And that is faith. So my first invitation to myself and to you all is this: to uphold and to invite others into the mystery of God, whenever that is possible. Now, often our desire to name or to understand God can come from our fear of what might be called our lack. We live in a world that constantly tells us that we do not have enough, that we have not done enough, and we are not enough. We regret what we have done. We regret what we have not done. And if you're like me, you regret spending the time that you spent regretting. Well, Maggie Rowe says in this article that she wrote called The Shape of Lack, you're never going to get what you want, because what you want is built from your very not having it. Desire is not the carrot on the stick that leads us to happiness. It is the stick, the ache, the chase, the cosmic tumbleweed that rolls forward, whispering just ahead. We are not broken because something's missing. We are built by what is missing. The ache is not a flaw, it is the engine. End quote. We need not be afraid of our lack of understanding God, or the cosmos, or suffering, or joy, or any of the other number of things which we do not fully understand in this life on earth. For perhaps it is in the lack where God is to be found. So my second invitation to you all, do not be afraid of the lack. And finally, the first two invitations, embracing the mystery of God and our lack. Well, living into these two invitations should not turn us into the self, but actually into others. For the mystery of God the love of God, the presence of God, is found in the face of others, in the face of creation, in our knowledge of this world and in our lack of knowledge in this world. If you know me, I quote this often. Victor Hugo says in Les Miserables, "To love another person is to see the face of God." We need not frantically try and solve God or find God or figure God out perfectly when God is the face of the person sitting right next to you, or the trees that are surrounding this place, or the air that we are all breathing right now. So my third invitation to myself and to you all is always seek the face of God in others. Live into the mystery of God. Do not fear the lack of life or knowledge of God. And always seek the face of God in others. If we can do all those things in community and out in the world, knowing God is mysteriously with us in all of those things, I think we just might be all right. Amen.